for your test, I've asked the factoring questions in a non-typical way. And the reason for that is I didn't ask you in the typical way with both answers listed, because you would just fold it back out and find the answer by going backwards, and that's not how I want you to work it. So this is how it's been asked. So in this problem I say you have x squared minus 4x minus 32. So what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and factor it. I know that this is an easy trinomial, and the factors of 32 that subtract to give me 4 would be 8 and 4. I know that they're going to have different signs, and the 8 and the 4 have to combine together to give me a negative 4 result. So that means I'm going to have a negative 8 and a positive 4. There, that looks a little better. Now then, the way that you're going to work it is factor it, just like we have there in the red, and then you're going to pick whichever factor lies in the list. So for example, do I see an x minus 8 in this list? I do, right here. You'll say, well, what if I see an x minus 8 and an x minus 4? You won't. Only one of the factors will appear in this list. So since x minus 8 is in the list, that's going to be the correct answer. This first one right here is x minus 4. X minus 4 is not one of the factors. This one, of course, is x minus 32. That's not one of the factors either. And this one is x plus 8. That's not one of the factors either. So only one correct factor will be in the list. In this particular problem, it's just the x minus 8. Okay, so let's try another one. Here's number 14. Now there's two different ways to work this. You can work it by trial and error, or you can work it by a method called bottoms up. I'll show you both. Trial and error looks like this. My choices for 3, let me go ahead and write it here. My choices for 3 are 3 and 1, and my choices for 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. I'm looking for what's going to subtract to give me 7. Okay, so my choices for 3x squared are 3x and x, and my choices for 20 that I'm going to try are 4 and 5. I'm going to put the 5 here and the 4 here. Now I don't know if it works or not. I'll try it and see. This rainbow right here gives me a 12x, and this rainbow right here gives me a 5x, and those will give me a negative 7x if the 12 is negative and the 5 is positive. So I need the 5 to be positive and the 12 negative. Now that's how it's going to factor. So once you get it to factor in that way, you have to look over there to see which factor is present. Is 3x minus 4 in my list? No. Is 3x minus 5 in my list? No. Is 3x plus 5 in my list? Yes. Is 3x plus 4 in my list? No. So your only answer is 3x plus 5, and that's how it would work. Now some people don't like trial and error. So if you don't like trial and error, there's another way to work it called bottoms up. If you need help with bottoms up, or if you've never seen it before, I'll show it to you here. If you need more assistance, you can also Google it, use YouTube or Khan Academy. Just type in bottoms up factoring, and they have some really great examples and videos. But it works well. So bottoms up works this way. You can bring the 3 up, and the 3 goes away, and so you have x squared minus 7x minus 60. And I misspoke. The 3 doesn't go away, it just goes on the back. Now you have an easy trinomial. We said 3 times 20, that's how we got the 60. Looking back, I need the factors of 60 that subtract to give me 7. Okay, so that's going to be, your choices are 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and 6 and 10. Okay, so the factors that are going to subtract to give me 7 are 5 and 12. Okay, when I put my signs in, my signs are different, and the bigger one should be negative. Now, of course, x plus 5 and x minus 12 is not the correct answer. Remember earlier when we brought this 3 up? Well, what you do now is you bring the 3 back down. So you're going to put the 3 right here where you see it highlighted in green. Now, over here, I'm going to jump to the back for a second. 12 divided by 3 would give me x minus 4. So that factor looks good. That's how it would look. If it reduces, reduce it. But if it doesn't reduce, this is why it's called bottoms up, you're going to bring the bottom up. So this would just be 3x plus 5. You get the same thing that we got by trial and error earlier. It's just a different way to work it. I, of course, do not care which way you work it. I just want you to be able to work it, whichever way works best for you. Of course, there's some other ways besides bottoms up as well, but these are the two most popular ways. Okay, so let's look at one more of these factoring ones. Okay, I'm going to work mine with trial and error first. My factors of 10 are 10 and 1 and 5 and 2, and my factors of 9 are 9 and 1 and 3 and 3. I don't really know where to start, so I just start at the lower ones on the list every time. So I'm going to try 5x and 2x, and I'm going to try 3 and 3. Looking at the signs, I know the signs are same, and they're both negative. Now, think about that for a second. If the signs are the same and they're both negative, I know that this isn't an answer, and I know that this isn't an answer. So I at least can narrow it down using that fact. That's how it would factor, though. Now, when I get ready to look at these, I have a 5x minus 3. That's not up there. I have a 2x minus 3. That is up there, so that's the answer that I want to choose, and that's my answer for that particular problem. 10x minus 3 is not one of the choices. So that's how it would look. Now, for those of you that did like bottoms up, let's work this one with a bottoms up method. I'm going to bring this 10 up, or to the back rather. I get x squared minus 21x plus 90. You do get bigger numbers this way. 9 times 10 is 90. Okay, so let's go through my factors of 90. 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30. I think 4 goes. Is that right? 4 goes one time. Goodness. 4 goes 2 times. There we go. That's what I'm missing. 4 doesn't go. 5 goes 1 time. 18. 6 goes 1 time. 15. And that should be it. I'm looking for the factors of 90 that add to give me 21. And that would be my possibility. They're the same sign, both negative. Do not put that as your answer. Of course, it's not on your list anyway, but do not put that as your answer. So if you bring the 10 up, remember that you have to bring the 10 back down. Now, both of these green and blue fractions are going to reduce. So 6/10 reduces by 2. And 15/10 reduces by 5. Okay, now that's all that they reduce. Now that's not your answer. Remember, you have to bring them up. So your answer would be 5x minus 3 when you bring it up, and 2x minus 3 when you bring it up. And of course, that would give you the same as the red answer. The only one in your list is 2x minus 3. So hopefully that shows you how the problems will look on the midterm and the problems on the midterm review, and it goes over how you will decipher the directions for this particular objective.